And, what do we do? What as an organization, when you speak of a leader, when you speak of a leadership group, and again, we're very fortunate in Legal Shield compared to many other companies because we can complement the strengths and interests of somebody who just part-time would like to make an extra 500, 1,000, $2,000 a month. And they can do that marketing a product people want, people need, and people can afford. We also have an opportunity that allows people, if their interest is there, to take advantage of leveraged income. What I like to call working smarter instead of harder. And what does that opportunity look like? Well, we can not only market the memberships and make a living, but we can recruit others to market the membership as they look to make a living. And when we do that, just like any sales organization and any other company, as a regional manager in the traditional sense, as a VP of sales, from a corporate perspective, if I use all the corporate titles, they earn bonuses on building a team. Okay. In our business, we're rewarded because if we help others learn how to have success, we help others learn how to market the membership, we get paid commissions. So that's why I like to refer to it as working smarter instead of harder. We have a business solutions opportunity. For many people, they like the idea of going out to decision makers. They like the idea of going out to companies and offering this as an employee benefit. And as many of you know, it's one of the most requested voluntary benefits in North America, legal and identity theft protection. We've got people who like to specialize with the small business plans. We got people who will specialize with our commercial driver's plan. We've got one individual in our organization and many others who are some of the top in the company who are big on the supplement side with the gun owner's legal plan. So, we've got opportunities that are unlike what 95% of other companies in the direct sales space have. In the direct sales space, you can't market the product and make a living. I grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I can think of a company called Amway. It's a great company. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic company. They blazed a trail for many, many, many other companies. But I can't market, I can't retail that product. All right. Buy wholesale, sell retail, because there's just no margin there. You look at your health and wellness, your nutrition, your skincare, you buy wholesale and then you basically consume that product and you help others to buy wholesale. So that's again one of the big differentiators in what we have. And so when we talk about the big differentiator with us as an organization, and you really need to take advantage of it when you go to the Shield Nation site, when you take your guest to the Shield Nation site, when you take your new associate to the Shield Nation site, what are you doing? You're introducing them to your team. You're introducing them to your systems. You're introducing them to, an opportunity that really is non-existent in a lot of other organizations. And what is our culture? What do we do? When I'm talking with a Calvin Stewart, Calvin knows, number one, I'm responsible to coach and develop leaders. That's the very first thing. Coach, you and I are long-term thinkers. Coach and develop leaders. What am I going to be coaching Calvin as I coach and develop his leadership? What am I going to coach him to do? I'm going to be coaching him to create what? Satisfied customers. Here I am 25 years later, and I can go out to a lot of you on this call who are here 5, 10, 15, 20 years. All right. You have residual income. Residual income is only paid to you and I on customers that stay on the books. Customers that stay on the books are what we call satisfied customers. All right. And guess what? When I market a membership, I'm paid month after month, year after year on that membership for as long as it stays on the books. Calvin's on my team. When Calvin markets that membership and he has a team that markets that membership, I'm paid month after month, year after year on the team of memberships that Calvin creates, as is also Calvin. Okay. So what do? We coach and develop leaders to create satisfied customers. And then number three, what does that do? It builds a lifestyle of freedom. It builds a lifestyle of freedom. When I think of many people like, Ken Moore's wife, I think of Wilburn Smith's wife, I think of the late Dave Savola and Bev Savola, all of them dear friends. All of them I'm very thankful for. Carol Smith, Wilburn passed, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years ago. Carol has been probably receiving, $1 million, $1.2 million, $1.3 million a year in income on the business Wilburn put together over 40 years ago. Ken Moore, Shirlene Moore is receiving income to the tune of $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 a year on the business Ken wrote, years ago. And she'll continue to have that kind of income. She'll continue to have that lifestyle. So I got a few announcements I want to talk about here in a minute, but you might wonder sometimes when we take a look at the Success Habits Workbook, one of the chapters that I really like to spend time on, and this is basically a 30-year principle that I've lived by, is, I'm not going to do a lot of it here, but it's just a good refresher to go into what I really want to talk about. What do we control? What do we control? The hours we work, the presentations we do, and our attitude, right? When you're brand new, you want to control the hours, control the presentations. You need to have a goal to how many hours you're going to work. And I'm going to ask you a question. If you work for a company, do they tell you how many hours you're going to work? Of course they do. Typically, it's a 40-hour work week. All right. They tell you when to come to work and when to go home. You've got to learn to employ yourself in this world because we're not W-2 anymore. We're 1099. And you really have to become disciplined, and you've got to use that PDA, that personal daily achievement, use your Wealth Builders tracking form, and you've got to schedule you're the boss, pretend you're the boss. Jane is the boss of Jane. So Jane 1 meets with Jane 2, and Jane 2 says, Jane, here's the hours I'm able to work this week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I can work from 9 till 2, and Tuesdays and Thursdays I can. I have a charity that I'm responsible for, whatever. Doesn't matter. All right. But Jane 1 has to learn how to be employed, or Jane 2 has to learn how to be employed by Jane 1. Because look, Calvin doesn't have a boss. Jane doesn't have a boss. Lori doesn't have a boss. Rhonda doesn't have a boss. You got to make yourself the boss. That's why it's always good to have a workout partner. And you guys have heard me say for many times, why is it you'll work harder for someone else than you will yourself? Right? So, this is just us, just having some good, good leadership conversation. So that's what we teach. That's what we control. I control the hours I work. I control the presentations I do. And look, we got to continue to keep this thing simple. You don't need a 45-minute presentation at Panera tomorrow. You don't need a 45-minute presentation via Zoom. You need to see the people and simply tell the story. See the people, keep it simple, tell the story, and get some type of a tool in front of them. Then you get them on a 3-way call. Then you get them exposed to the product, and then you've got basically a new associate. Okay. Satisfied customers first. So that just leads me to this before I go into just kind of talking about what we've got that's upcoming. I learned from my good friend, Jeff Roberti, when I first got involved in this industry in 1989. It wasn't Legal Shield. That wasn't my first company. I got first involved in the industry in 1989. Jeff is one of the top money earners in the entire, direct selling industry. I think to the tune of about $130 million with a company called NSA. They market Juice Plus. Fantastic product. I was with that company. Darcy and I were with that company. And one of the things he taught us in the early days were the 5 things that I really needed to learn to control. And again, just keeping the business simple, and number one is you share the product. That's the first thing. Number one, you share the product. You guys have probably heard this before, but you haven't heard me talk about it for quite a while. And sometimes I don't know why we get away from the basics. I share the product. Number two, I share the opportunity. Number three, I build for events. Number four, I coach others to do 1 through 3. And then number 5 is put the word duplicate. So I share the opportunity, or I share the product, I share the opportunity, I build for events, I teach others to share the product, share the opportunity, build for events. Why? Because that's what duplicates. In the name of this business, the power to wealth is through duplication. A lot of times we're just getting too caught up in the latest bonus, the latest incentive, the newest training, the newest flyer, the newest portfolio of services, the newest benefit, the latest benefit. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like we can get the spinning like a top, and it just boils down to the simplicities of keeping it simple. Think McDonald's is a good example. If Michael opens a McDonald's wherever Michael lives, and Michael says to the McDonald's Corporation he wants to sell pizza, the McDonald's Corporation says, well, Michael, you can't be a franchisee owner because we don't sell pizza. We're not going to let you. Michael says, hey, listen, I think the French fry machine should be another part of the restaurant. The McDonald's Corporation is going to say, Michael, it's not going to happen. We've got a proven method of operation. We've got a proven franchise. We've got a proven success model. Here's what works. It's the same thing here. We know what works. It's been proven for over 30 years. Try to stay in that lane and keep it simple. The basics don't change. Technology does. We understand, look, technology changes every 2 minutes. All right. But the basics of what we do in the business don't change. The beauty today, we can do Zoom. I couldn't do Zoom 30 years ago. The beauty today, we've got cell phones. We didn't have cell phones 30 years ago. We were in phone booths putting quarters in a machine. All right. Maybe we should have a night of just doing trainings of what it was like doing business back then. We didn't have links that we could send to somebody. We had $15 VHS videos. My tool when I got started in this business was a VHS video. Yeah, cassettes came after, CDs came after, but we spent $15 for a VHS video. We would put that out in people's hands and we would hope we got it back so that we could put it in someone else's hands. So, the technology is to our advantage, so share the product, share the opportunity, build for events. What I just want to spend a minute on tonight is what I've worked harder on than anybody else over my 30 years is building for events. Building for events. I learned a long time ago that if I could just get 100 people, if I could get 100 people at that international conference, I could have a lifestyle that was in the top 1% of people in this world. Why is that? Well, because that's our Super Bowl. That's where people see the big picture. My sponsor called me in February, March, April, May, June, July. Okay. Brielle was 2 weeks old. She was born in July. Okay. This is my oldest daughter. You guys know Brielle. She's a ring earner in the company. Youngest millionaire female member in Legal Shield's history. So she was born in July of 1989. We had been in the business about 4 months with the company called NSA. All right. And our sponsor called and said, hey, you guys need to get over to the international conference in Toronto, Canada. And I hadn't been to a conference, didn't really know the value of a conference, didn't know the benefits of a big conference. Brielle was 2 weeks old. And I told our sponsor, Cheryl and Jeff, I said, no, I don't think so. Darcy, we just had a baby, 2 weeks old, our first child. No, I was making all the excuses. Thank goodness I had two sponsors, Cheryl and Jeff, who, made it clear to me, you can either make excuses or you can make money, but you can't do both. So I had to make up my mind. Do I want to make excuses or do I want to make money? And back then I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. For things to change, I had to change. For things to get better, I had to get better. I was broke, you know? And so I argued with him, and then Cheryl was smart enough to call Darcy, and Darcy's like, yeah, we can go. Rayle's 2 weeks old. I mean, she's just going to sleep the whole time, nurse and sleep, nurse and sleep. I'm like, well, all right. We drove our car from Grand Rapids, Michigan to Lansing. We got on a train. We took the train from Lansing, Michigan to Toronto, Canada. Got off that train, went to the hotel, and we went to our first conference, about 500 people. And we sat in the room about the middle. I will never forget, I was on the aisle. She was in her little thing while I'd rock her and take notes. And the speakers on stage would teach us how they were building the business. My life changed that day, and it changed forever. And while I was at that conference, while I was at that convention, not only did I get the big picture, not only did I sharpen my act, not only did I get a chance to open my notepad and learn from people who had all the success. I didn't have the success. I was a student and I was willing to be coached. I was willing to be mentored. I was willing to be taught by the best of the best, And so while I'm filling out my notepad, I also made a note to myself that I would never, ever be at a conference again, a convention again by myself. And I would have a goal every single time to double. So whatever the next convention was, I was going to make sure there was at least me and a new distributor, a new associate. The next conference, it would go 2 to 4. It would go 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32, 32 to 64, 64 to 128. You guys follow me, right? Give me a smile, give me a thumbs up, give me something out there. All right, good. So that's where I sit today. At the conferences, we've had 4, 5, 6, 700. We've had 1,000 people on the team at a conference. And the coming year, I would have a goal to have double what I had the year before. I don't know what you had in Charlotte last year. If you had 5, you should have a goal in building for events to double it for the international conference this year. 5 would move you to 10. Next year, 10 would move you to 20. And it's not that there aren't other events you can't plug into to expedite your numbers. What's going to happen? You're going to have associates that become more committed. You're going to have associates that see the big picture. You're going to have associates that capture the vision. You're going to have associates that make a commitment to Performance Club. You're going to have associates that will make a decision to run for the ring, all because they see the big picture and they catch the vision. So share the product, share the opportunity, work harder at building for events than anything else you do. Monday night right here is an event. The team Zoom calls that maybe you're doing is an event. The Super Saturdays are an event. And if you are taking notes, put this down, March 23rd, which is actually my birthday. Excited. I'll be doing the event in Denver, Colorado. So if you've got team in Colorado, plug them in. You don't have to come. If Calvin's got team in Colorado, Calvin knows I'll give them the same energy, the same attention, the same sincerity that he would give them if he was there. So leverage us in the marketplace. Cliff is out there in the market a lot. Leverage Cliff. Other team members are in the market a lot. Leverage them. And if you can't leverage somebody personally, just let them lock and load and get the energy and see what's going on in the company. Many, many amazing things have happened. So I don't know if Trish put this out, but if you got your pen and paper, I'll write this down. So building for events. That's what I'm going to kind of leave you with right now. All right. Building for events. We already know what these Mondays are about. I'm no longer, Jane, I'm thinking about no longer telling you guys what the next Monday is going to hold. All right. Because what I'm seeing is that some of you are kind of picking and choosing. I never pick and choose. When somebody goes across the stage at a Shield, or not a Shield Nation, when somebody goes across the stage at this upcoming conference in Oklahoma City, let's see, I'm a platinum 2 right now. I was as high as the elite position. Let's just say a bronze executive director is doing a teaching. You're not going to see me leave the room and discredit who that person is that's doing a teaching on the stage because I've accomplished so much more than they have. That's not my attitude. I'm like, my notepad is out, and my attitude is, what can I learn from this individual? And there'll be some things I can learn, and there'll be some things that I might just discount, but I'm going to look to get the notes because I come with expectations. All right. I can't get a guest every Monday night. Okay. Like we had with Melissa and the IT person last week. I've got an invitation out to Warren. Warren's going to be joining our call probably after the Oklahoma City conference because he's got a pretty tight schedule. I've got some other I've got Rip Mason's going to be joining our call, our good friend and past CEO, Rip Mason, and then chairman of the board. He'll be joining our call here probably in about the next 5 or 6 Mondays. But I'm honestly thinking about not even promoting it because some of you guys are picking and choosing. We had 100 people on the call last week, and we got about 70 people on the call this week. What? Why? Why the drop? Shouldn't we see that number go from 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 100 to 110, 110 to 120? Man, we love having the guests. We love having the guests see what the opportunity looks like. Love having the guests, more importantly, see, that we're a team that is accountable to each other and accountable to principles that create wealth. And teams sometimes have tough talk. Leaders have tough talk. My sponsor had tough talk with Darcy and I and said, you need to be in Toronto, Canada. I don't care if you have a 2-week-old baby. That really wasn't her attitude. She didn't say that, but she's saying, if you know what's good for you, if you want to build your business, if you want your words to match up to your actions better be in Toronto, Canada. Changed my life forever. All right. With that company, I built distribution in 7 countries. With that company, I became a national marketing director, the first one in Michigan. We built 2 national marketing director positions, which are the equivalent of platinums in that company. Became President's Advisory Council with that company within 1 year, which is the top 1% of income earners. And we were on the President's Advisory Council. I'm not sharing that to brag or boast. I committed to work harder at building for events than I did anything else. Okay. So, Friday evening, and this will all be up on the Shield Nation website. So Friday evening in Oklahoma City, we will be meeting with the team at the Omni Hotel at the conference lobby bar. So you'll be able to see all that information. So get our little family reunion together and at the Omni that evening. So the details will be on the site. Let's just see what else do I got here. The other thing too is just please make a note, the discounted tickets. All right, the discounted tickets for the Oklahoma conference. And guys, I tell you what, this is just fantastic. Being this close to the conference, typically in the past, the tickets have been $149, $129, $139, $149. And up until this coming Friday, let me see, wait a minute, where is it? Up until
the 16th.
Thank you, Teresa. Expires this Saturday. You can get the tickets at shieldassociate.com/convention. It's all on the Shield Nation website with the Hoffman promo code, Hoffman 79. Hoffman 79, and you can get that for $79. Your brand new associates can get it. Your guests who are going to become associates can get it. And again, what we do in 4 to 5 days is going to take somebody else 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 months to learn, because we're just all there together, creating that mastermind, really improving on that whole, university learning opportunity. All right. So the discounted Oklahoma convention tickets expire Saturday. We've got the Shield Nation family reunion in Oklahoma City Friday night. Don't forget to join us Sunday morning for the prayer and praise, prayer and worship. So right before we do the breakout, for those that would like to have prayer and join us for some worship, that will be Sunday morning from 8 to 8:30. If you haven't registered for the Shield Nation breakout, register for the Shield Nation breakout. It's all there. And then I finally got hold Jane, and I believe it will all be on website tomorrow under what's new, all the details for the baseball game at the minor league park in Bricktown. So we will be going to the ballpark. It's a fantastic ballpark in Bricktown, and going to the baseball game that afternoon immediately following the breakout. So we've done this for many years. I know that Kathy and Harold Pinson will be joining us. I know that other Platinums will be joining us. I believe Warren might even be joining us. And so it's just an opportunity to kick back and enjoy food, have a cold beer, have a cold Coca-Cola, whatever it is you like, and watch baseball and just fellowship with all kinds of associates. And I think sometimes our best business is hanging out with the folks at the breakout and then the event after the event. You've heard us talk for years about the event after the event. And that's where we can kind of just loosen up and even have more conversation about, goals, strengths, interests, family, hobbies, and just life in general. So those were just some of the things, and those are events that I'm building for. So, if I'm building for it, I'd like to encourage you to build for it. If you're building for it, I'd like to encourage your team to build for it, because there isn't anything we teach or do here that we don't do first. And so, you can see my library behind me. You can see all these, cupboards and credenzas back here. They're filled with files. They're filled with teaching trainings. If you want to come spend a week with me, I'll open up this entire office to you and give you everything I got. Why? Because I know it works. And the second reason is, if you've got a great idea and it hasn't worked, I can tell you, so you don't have to spend the time and money messing it up like I did one day. So anyhow, Jane, I'll throw it back to you. If I left anything out, jump in. And if anybody has a question, we got time for maybe a couple. Thanks, Calvin.
Yeah, John, we definitely have time for some questions. If people would please raise their hand, that really is helpful. If we can see your hand, because then you go up into the top left corner of the screen and we can see you. So anyone would like to raise their hand? Otherwise, we are done. That was great nuggets tonight, John. Thank you so much. I did put it in the chat. I hope everybody saw that I put your points, the 5 points together there. Anybody wants to save the chat, they can do that. And it looks like we have Teresa. We have John Hoffman too. Teresa, you want to say something?
Oh, I forgot to change it. Sorry. I look better than John Hoffman, though.
That's right. Absolutely.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that, John, they're also allowing those people that still have bundle tickets at $69. They're allowing them to sell them until the 16th as well.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know of anybody that has any left. I reached out to Cliff. I think he had his sold, and but yeah, if you know anybody that has a bundle, you can get it for $10 less than 69. So, excuse me, so fantastic. But otherwise, just know it expires Saturday, and also we haven't talked about it, but the reunion and the tours, the bus tours down to the home office, probably as strong a building opportunity as anything, because when you get a chance to go into that home office and see the Wall of Fame and see how this company started in 1972 and know that you can be a part of something that's making history, it's a pretty big deal, guys and gals. Pretty big deal. All right.
All right. Looks good to me, John.
Well,
Take care,
Jane,
everybody.
thank you. It's good seeing everybody.
Thanks, John.
We
Thanks, Calvin.
appreciate you, John, so much. We love you both.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
See you all
Bridget.
next
John.
week.
Thank you, James. Have a great night.
Thank you, training. Thank you very much.
Invite-
Have a good one.
Good job, Jane.
Thank you.